because he speaks his mind, and in my view, he speaks truth, and he's on the right path. And he recognized the fact, that if he were to rely on CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, New York Times, Washington Post, and so on, all the other major newspapers in America and throughout the world, to explain what he's trying to do and to tell the truth, he would fail, because they never liked it. So what he did, he went over their heads and he made the Twitter handle the most powerful weapon that he has, other than the nuclear weapon. And it's worked very well. And that's what I think needs to be done if we're to transform and change this society. And ladies and gentlemen, the fact that Nnewi has started so well and has made such waves in the East, it's clear to me that they will make equal waves at the national level, indeed internationally, and allow people to know the truth about all that's going on in our respective lives and indeed in Nigeria. And what is that truth? Now please, kindly fasten your seatbelts and listen to me carefully, because I will share some of those truths with you today. I represent only myself. I do not represent any organization. I speak for myself, and I stand by all that I say. I believe in peace. I believe in love. I believe in unity. And I believe that people have the right to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of who you are, where you come from, or what you stand for. No matter what. That's what I believe in. And I will tell you that in the country that we're in today, Nigeria, our beloved country, there are some things that are inexplicable, unbelievable. And until you dot the I's and cross the T's, you'll find it difficult to believe that that's really what's going on. Because few can see the full picture. What am I referring to? What am I talking about? Let's start with the private sector. A good friend of mine recently said, he's the governor of Kaduna State. We're in cabinet together, a good friend of mine, Nasir El-Rufai, recently said that we thank God that no matter what anybody says, that the richest man in this country comes from the north. And I'm quoting him exactly, it is not any southerner. It is a northerner, and we thank God for that. He said in a public forum, it's on record, he's never denied it. I responded to him by saying this, that if you give any southern businessman the opportunities that, for example, Aliko Dangote, because that's who he was referring to, had over the last whatever years since 1980, and you allow them to have those benefits, that support, those concessions, and so on and so forth, over that period of time from 1980 till 2019, I assure you that a southerner would not just be the richest man in Nigeria, he will be the richest man in the world. And that is the truth. You see, in Nigeria, power affects everything. And you've all done so well. There are many businessmen here. Many are struggling, many are working hard. And you have amongst you probably the most industrious, successful businessman in the country. Right here. I never knew him before. I knew him only when they started moving against him. And why were they moving against him? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you now, he may not be comfortable with me saying this, but I have to say it. They moved against him because he was doing too well. He was going too far and moving too fast for somebody of his faith and somebody of where he comes from. It's not meant to be like that in Nigeria. That is the truth. Yet what did he do? He didn't rock the boat. He simply focused on his business. He never said a word, and he continued to work hard. That is a great man for you. That is somebody that loves you. That is somebody that we ought to be proud of. And I'm very proud of you, sir. I'm very, very proud of you. You have no idea. Because what you represent is far more than you think. He is producing vehicles here in Nigeria. I ask myself, we talk about patronizing our own. Why is it the federal government has not bought all these vehicles? Why is it they buy foreign? state governments? Why is everybody not good quality stuff? But you know what the answer is, but we don't like to say it. We don't want to talk about it. It is wrong to hold down and peg down people simply because they are who they are, where they're from, or their religious faith. This is unacceptable. And that's what's been happening. Doesn't stop there. You'll give me a little bit of time today, because I've come a long way. And I want to share a few things with you. Just a little bit of time. It's not just him. Thank you very much, Chairman. There are others. Good friend of mine, Chief Cletus Ibeto. And you know, businessmen are very sensitive when you call their names like this, because you know they have so much at stake, especially in a country like this. They have to think of their business. They have to think of what they might lose if somebody like Fani calls their name and says they'll be the, you know, the next thing they come down on them. And I do not mean that, and I pray that does not happen. But I will only speak about my own perceptions and my understanding of the situation. Cletus Ibeto, again, another Igbo man. He was doing too well. You're not meant to do that well. You didn't know that? Oh, you didn't know? There's a peg, invisible, unstated. It's an understanding, and it has been there for many, many years. If you didn't know it today. This man was producing cement, not importing cement. And it got to a point that they said, and it didn't start with this government, I have to be honest with you, it started with the previous government, other governments, that if we allow him to continue to build up in this way, we're going to have a major problem, because he will end up being one of the richest men in the country, one of the richest men on the continent, successful and far too strong. It will get to a point that we can't even touch him. Therefore, we must stop him. And what did they do? They threw the book at him. Tried to cripple his business. Tried to bring him down. But what did he do? He continued to work quietly. Didn't make any noise, like innocent. Didn't say anything. Didn't complain. He just continued to work. And I'll tell you something that you may not know. I was in detention. I was in the cell for a total of 3 months. So one of the times I was in a Boko Haram cell. But before they took me to the Boko Haram unit, I was in a cell in Lagos with Chief Cletus Ibeto. And what happened was this. He had done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. But a rival of his in the cement business, I won't mention his name, had told them that they should mess him up. Because he was, I think he had just commissioned some plant somewhere or something, they should mess him up. So they brought him in. They put him in there, and they put this man through hell. And I witnessed it. They put him through hell. They made him sleep on the floor. They called him names. They insulted young boys, 21-year-old, from the same part of the country. I won't say where. But you all know where. And I witnessed this. And yet this man was diligent, courteous, and patient. And he kept saying to me, my focus is on God and to prove that I've done nothing wrong. And he presented all his papers, his documents to them. And after a few weeks and months, they gave him a clean bill of health. And he went back to his business. But the point is this. Why is it that simply because he comes from the wrong part of the country, he should be subjected to this type of treatment? Answer is simple. He was moving too fast. He was too powerful. He was doing too well. And these people are not meant to do that well. Let's keep them at the trader level. Let's keep them at a point that they're buying and selling goods, making money, enjoying themselves, and believing that they're able to get to the top. That's good enough. Anything more than that becomes an issue of national security. That is the reality of this country today. And we need to live with it. I'll give you one more example, then I'll move on. My good friend Fani, who has done so well as well, and this is his constituency, I'm told, and he's a good friend of mine, done very well, trod on a lot of toes, made a few mistakes here and there, but a profoundly good man. And he has done exceptionally well in business before he went into politics.